We're live.
And we are live.
What up, everybody?
I was jamming to that countdown music.
Right.
Is it that kind of mood today?
Yes. I was like, do, 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 do.
Listen, I just want everybody to know that I didn't realize Galentine's Day had an actual date.
Yeah, you didn't know?
I thought you just, instead of Valentine's Day, you just hung out with your homies. Like, I thought that's what it was.
Can we talk about how Valentine's Day is not as popular as it used to be after the pandemic?
Says who? Because Kroger's begs to differ. I was assaulted by Valentine's Day in Kroger's.
Then maybe it's just like the stores that I go to. Because I remember before the pandemic, there used to be like rows of rows. Like literally Christmas wouldn't even be over a week. And we would be assaulted with Valentine's Day displays.
Come to my Target because they went completely crazy.
Bruh.
You know, they have like Winter Wonderland stuff, and except for Halloween, they do that shit for Valentine's Day.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just like my area.
The Kroger's by my
dry.
house, they moved all of the carts that are normally inside outside, because when you walk in, the place where it's supposed to be carts is just nothing but Valentine's Day balloons and pre-made vases. Then there's a tent that takes up a good portion of the parking lot for more Valentine's Day stuff. And then when you walk in on the side where like your florals and stuff are, like whole other situation. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? They have a chocolate strawberry station in there. They have like a little place to like get specific like little Valentine's Day treats in there. I was like, I'm leaving.
They're doing too much. Okay, so
no question. Is anyone a Valentine's Day hater? Like, do any of y'all hate it?
I'm not a hater. I've just never had a good experience.
Well, I don't mean like hater in that way, but I just mean like you don't like the holiday. Not like you're a hater to other people.
I was indifferent. And then I think it was in either middle school or high school, I learned the history of it and like about Saint Valentine. Which if you ask me now, I can't really remember, but I feel like
wasn't he beheaded?
Yeah, he like martyred himself in some way. And then I started liking the holiday once I learned the history of it.
Wow.
I don't really like the commercialized version of what it's become, but the spirit behind it I like.
I never really thought about it. I never like felt the desire to go look it up either. So
he's a saint and I know what he is.
Yeah.
And I went to, Catholic.
He like did something selfless and like sacrificed himself in some way or something.
I'm just like, oh wow, this is crazy.
Not, oh wow, this is crazy.
That's how I felt when I walked in. I was like, there's so much stuff. And then all I kept thinking was like, please don't buy all of this because this on clearance would be lit.
Let me tell you something. The Dollar Tree.
I just remember like when I was in high school, Valentine's Day sucked because there were always those girls that would walk around with the huge teddy bears from their boyfriend, or like their boyfriend would like decorate their locker. Or my favorite, you could like order roses and have them delivered to people. So legitimately,
the worst students. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying students would literally like walk into class and be like, we have a rose delivery for Serena. Everybody's like, ooh. And they'd be like, and we have another rose delivery for Ashley. Ooh. And I'm just sitting there like, I fucking hate my life.
We did carnations in middle school, but the one that annoyed the shit out of me was the candygrams where they would sing. And it was always like, L is for. And we'd all be like, let us learn. I want to know.
Not let us learn.
That is how annoying it used to be. But it's annoying because like 4 people in your class will have it. So
yes,
like y'all better be singing one time for all.
And that's it. Or the girls that would walk around with the giant balloons, or their boyfriend would decorate their car. I remember, oh my gosh, the junior and senior parking lot, you could see the girls' cars whose boyfriend had come and like decorated with balloons and like put little hearts on their like windshield, be like, my baby, I love, and then you're just like, why? why am I experiencing the same lifetime as this person right now?
Why am I
say, like,
lifetime?
if you are like posting pictures on social media and stuff like that, you want attention. Like, no. That was the social media back then. You wanted some attention if you were doing that.
But then those couples were also the first couples to like break up before prom. They'd be like, "Oh my god, like, not me."
And then sometimes it'd be in front of people. Like, people would know that they broke up.
Mm-hmm. So that was my only negative experience with the holiday, because after high school, I stopped caring.
Well, technically, my junior year of high school, I was a person who got the whole Valentine's Day gift thing in her locker.
Yeah. Okay, lucky girl.
To this day, it's a funny moment because, you know, he's like one of my favorite gay best friends.
That's funny.
But, you know, at the time, he was still finding himself. But yeah.
Is that what we're calling it?
Well, that's what we say about it now. But literally opened my locker. It was 24 long stemmed, two-toned roses, 4 boxes of chocolate, this really pretty charm bracelet, like all types of stuff. And the worst part was, in like all the girls were at my locker, like oohing and awing, and all I thought in my head was, "Oh my god, I thought he was gay."
I'm done.
Yep. Like, we had a whole conversation like later on. Like, in the moment, I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." But in my head, I was like, "We're gonna have to talk because I am so confused. I think I read all the wrong signals."
I don't think I have like a Valentine's Day, like anything that happened in particular on Valentine's Day. Because I don't remember, like, I was like Osha, like, I didn't really care about it. Like, I didn't have any problem with it. I just didn't care about it. Like, I didn't care about the like little candy things they would do in school or anything like that. So I never really had a big opinion on Valentine's Day. So I don't know. It's just only memories I have are like passing stuff out for when we were kids at elementary school, and then like in middle school with the annoying singing and the carnations. The carnations are fine. Come in and get the people their carnations. The singing, that's like my villain origin story.
Y'all want to know something kind of embarrassing?
Of course.
Of course.
I don't know why I just remembered this, but I did have one unfortunate situation with Valentine's Day. This was in the 7th grade. And we did like Valentine's, you know, back then when you were in elementary school, you would buy the Valentine's Day cards.
Right.
And you would give them to every classmate.
Yes, so nobody was left out.
Right. Well, this was still happening for some reason when I was in middle school. And I went to this one middle school. Well, I remember specifically we exchanged Valentines in this one class. I cannot tell you what class it was. I want to say it was social studies, but I could be wrong. And I remember one in particular was anonymous. And it also came with, I want to say it came with like some candy. And it was anonymous. And it was this person basically being like, telling me that they had a crush on me.
Uh-oh.
So of course it became the talk of the class, and everyone's like trying to figure out who sent it. And I was friends with this girl at the time. I don't want to say her real name in case she ever watches this podcast. So let's just call her Tina. I was friends with this girl called Tina at the time, who was very like outspoken and aggressive and like in your face. So she like snatched up the Valentine and the gift and was like running around to all the boys in class being like, "Did you send this to Osha? Like, who sent it? Who sent it? Who sent it?" And based on the reaction that she was given, was trying to figure out who it was. Well, long story short, it came out that there was this one kid that I was not interested in whatsoever. He was a nice enough guy, but he was just shy. He was very quiet. He was kind of on the nerdy side, which is totally fine, but we'd literally never spoken, and I just had no interest in him. And I will never forget this, and I kind of regret this now, but he was so embarrassed, and like I was so icked out by the whole situation. Like I had the ick.
Oh my gosh.
And because I was so immature, instead of just, you know, smiling and just letting it go, I literally was like, "Ew."
No.
So the other day, I was curious and I was like, I wonder whatever happened to him.
Girl.
Mine, I literally have never looked this man up in my life, but for some reason the other day I was real curious. This is what happens when you delete Instagram. You just start going down the rabbit hole on Facebook. So I looked him up, and he's married to this white girl now, and they have 5 kids. And I was like, okay, he got his happy ending.
Well, yeah, because you sure was trying to end it for him.
Girl, you were about to be his incel origin story.
I know. Oh my God.
I felt so bad. I mean, we were like 12.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I expect from a 12-year-old, but that still was like, ooh, dang.
That's so awk.
Yeah, that's ooh.
He avoided me for the rest of the school year. I felt horrible.
I would also avoid you.
You would have been dead to me. Yeah.
Oh no, not dead to you.
Like I would have had to treat you like you were dead. Ain't no way you about to embarrass me like that and I actually communicate with you later.
It was so embarrassing. I was embarrassed. He was embarrassed. It was just embarrassing.
There's just so many things like wrong with this story, but also it's very middle school.
Very peak middle school.
Yeah, it's like.
But I did get a lot of satisfaction of seeing his family photos. I was like, okay, this warms my heart.
You didn't, you know, go into incel culture and then want to kill women. I'm proud.
To be honest, if you would have, I wouldn't have blamed him. Because that's the type of embarrassment that incels claim that they get.
Yes.
Like he actually like got it. That's crazy. I mean, again, I understand because you were a middle schooler, but ooh.
You know, it's so funny. This isn't Valentine's Day, but it's something that happened that was kind of embarrassing for me because I was so confused. This is, you know, my dad, so this isn't too shocking for you guys. So when I was in 6th grade, I passed 6th grade, right? But my siblings had summer school. We did not go to school together. I was the only one in middle school. But my dad was just like, yeah, no, you're not just going to sit your ass at home while your siblings are doing work. So you're going to go to summer school. And I was just like, what are you talking? What is there for me to do? He enrolled me in summer school. So I did summer school in 6th grade for like no reason. While I was there, I sat in front of this boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, I'm not going to say much else. Long story short, his friend, this is MySpace time, right? So MySpace me and was like basically telling me that I weirded him out because I'm always staring at him.
Stop it.
And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, what is he talking about?
This definitely went in a different direction than I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. And so I was like, what? They're like, she was like, yeah, that you always stare at him. Da, 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 da. And so I was like,
the delusion.
Okay, but here's what kills me. I was like, how am I staring at him and we have to sit with dividers?
Oh no.
Like you know, like the black ones they give you to put up in the test. We had to use those 24/7, and I was just like, except like when we're like learning, she lets us put them down, but like 80% of the time they were up, and I was just like, who was I looking at? And he sat right directly in front of me. So if the divider's up, I'm 5'3". I've been 5'3" since I turned 12. So I'm like, I wasn't taller than the divider. So, but he was going around telling people that, and then it was
the delusion.
We went to high school together, and he was still telling people that.
Stop.
So he was really on a different level of delusion.
He was trying to get your attention and just never worked out the way he wanted.
I was just like, you're joking though, right? Like, and then what kills me is I'm the person who's been like, no, I had a crush on you. Like, that was the truth. I'm not gonna lie. I had a crush on you. Move on. Like, I'm not gonna deny it. But like, for you to like tell people that I'm like staring at you didn't even make sense, because he only told people that weren't in our class, because it was like a math summer school.
Because they would have been like, wait, we have dividers. How? Does she have X-ray vision? What's going on?
Is Troy 5'2"? Like, come on now. Like,
that's crazy.
It's the fact that he took it to MySpace for me.
I was so shook. I was like, sir, is it just because I was like I don't know. Because everyone knew I was there for like no reason, and it was just easy to pick on me. I don't know. I was like, bro, leave me alone.
That's messed up.
You guys want to hear something even crazier? Because we're speaking on MySpace.
What?
Do you know I met a friend, like he and I are still friends to this day. I met him freshman year, but it was because of MySpace.
That's kind of amazing.
Really?
Yep. Like,
talk about your 2000s romance.
It should have been
really good.
Wow. No, he's like completely disqualified because he got like a whole squad of kids.
Ooh.
He's cool though. Like he and I are cool. But yeah, it all started because he saw a picture, a MySpace picture, and I was wearing a South Pole outfit. That's the part that you know I'm old. Because I was rocking a South Pole outfit.
Oh, South Pole.
Right. And he was like, "Oh, this fits hard." Literally, that's how we started talking.
That's funny. And back then it was like South Pole, FUBU, baby fat.
That story is like a meet cute for the digital age.
100%.
Yeah. Why do I keep having all these meet cues but no men? Like this is real ghetto.
Okay, so we're 16 minutes in. We need to do our intro and get started.
So sorry. You want to do the intro today?
No.
Oh.
I don't have it written down, so I can't do it.
Fine,
I just feel like it's become your thing now, Brittany.
I know.
Poor Brittany. She's our secretary. She does the intros now.
All right. Hi guys, welcome to Black Prose, where Black books, Black stories, and Black lives have always mattered. I'm your host, Melanin Eclectic. I need to draw today, so you're watching me draw.
My name is Oshale of Oshi Reads and Oshi Writes here.
And my name is Troy Nicole of Ink Flare Studio and Brookish Waffler.
Happy Galentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I want to talk about only one thing in the pop culture thing.
I know where it's going, and that's the only topic in there.
Yay!
So I assume we all watch Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. We all know that ASAP clearly came through ASAP.
Look, I don't think that 6 weeks was adhered to the way it should have been.
I really tried to look up like how old her beautiful little son is. I was like, did they wait for the moment the doctor said go?
He was born in May. He was just born in May.
He was just born.
He's not even fully formed. His features haven't even fully come in. I was like, ooh.
She said she wanted a big family. So
the baby was born 9 months ago.
Yes.
Dang.
That's why I said they did not adhere to the 6-week rule.
But she did say that. She did say she wanted a big family, and she did say she wanted her children to be close in age.
The way that I just want it to be a little girl so that we can just be like, oh my God, is she going to love Fenty? I need to know.
I just want to say what everybody's not going to say. When she said she had a special guest, I thought it was announcing new music. I thought she was finally going to give us a new song, something. And then
it was a fetus.
It was Nikki. It was a fetus. I was like, I'm happy for you. Don't get me wrong. It looks like you are thriving and glowing and like awesome. But like, sis, you really played me.
But here's the thing. We really have progressed as a society because when she first appeared on that stage, no one was assuming that it was a pregnancy. We were all just kind of like, oh, okay, maybe, the baby weight, that's okay. She just had a baby. She looks great. It wasn't until she had turned to the side at one point that people started to catch on. And then definitely when she like rubbed her belly, I think during Diamonds at the end, and there was one other time that she rubbed her belly, then we were all like, it all like slowly started to dawn on us. And I just like that nobody was like body shaming. Everybody was kind of like, oh, okay, she looks great.
Like,
okay.
Okay, sis, I see you out here not even trying to be unhealthy with this. I love it. And then I was like, oh my God, no, she's pregnant.
Yes. It all took us a second. But I was like, see, that's progress for our society.
My mom said, and I quote, how did y'all not know she was pregnant? Her nose is spread out just like the last time she was pregnant.
That's exactly what somebody else said too. They were like, I knew the second I saw her nose I guess she did an interview like the day before.
I went back and watched the interview and I'm like, why did I not notice this? Because her nose was spread the first time she was pregnant too.
Yes.
Like, that was a clear indicator. And like that big old coat is very Rihanna. So like, I didn't even think like.
Nobody thought anything of it.
Mm-mm.
No. It's very exciting. What did you think of the performance?
Very mid.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was like, I understand that there were clearly she clearly had to make some changes to the original plan because, she looks very, very pregnant and I support that. But as far as a Super Bowl performance, I was like, I mean, cool. We got this what did I call them? We got the Super Smash Bro level things, which was cool. But to be honest, she looked tired. She was trying to give us the energy, and I felt like she was trying to give us energy, but it wasn't giving. It was mid.
Well, they said she didn't really rehearse it too much.
I can tell.
And I actually really loved the performance. And at first I was like, am I crazy? And then I went back and watched last year's Super Bowl performance with Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige. And then I even watched the year before with J-Lo and Shakira because I was trying to figure out if I really liked it that much. And I was like, I actually think I really liked it because A, I really love her. B, the stage was genius. Like the floating stage.
The floating stage part was cool, but if you had more energy to match the floating stages, it would have been a lit performance.
I guess I just didn't mind the energy as much because I was in such nostalgia listening to all those hits that I hadn't listened to or heard of. I was like jamming to all the music. I was like, yes, it's my song. So I guess I
really started jamming when I realized we really are not getting any music.
You're like, this is all we're getting. The dancers had me mesmerized. Like I was mesmerized by the dancers.
The puff clouds.
They were so good. They were so sharp.
Very confused by the choice of outfits. I was like, are we just puffs of smoke? Is this supposed to go with the floating stage? And I was like, everybody is a puff of smoke. I get it. Cool.
But it was giving me like Missy Elliott. The whole vibe was giving me Missy Elliott. It was giving me like 2002 Janet Jackson. I don't know.
I like it. And Janet Jackson without the energy. I'm sorry. The energy was not there.
I know. I still liked it though. But I understand what you're saying. Like you were expecting more. And I guess like this is going to sound horrible, but I guess my expectations for her weren't that high because I was just like, she clearly doesn't want to do music anymore. She hasn't performed in almost a decade.
Which is like all the more reason why I really thought we were getting something new because I was like, okay, what a way to like rejuvenate your like moment to come out with the Super Bowl. But then it was like, eh.
And then she was like, I'm pregnant. I'm tired. It's late. Her body's probably like, we supposed to be asleep. We supposed to be in bed.
But like on the other hand, like I like that women are just, it's like pregnancy is not stopping them. I'm still loving that vibe. It's just like when Cardi B did it at Coachella, Cardi B was on a whole different situation.
She was
like,
hype.
It was a lot of energy still. And I just felt like, but also I was really happy because I was like, I don't know how much money you make off these performances, but you got up there fully pregnant on floating stages and you was out here rolling and everything, the belly.
Apparently she didn't get paid.
What?
It's the rumor. I'll have to dig more into that, but that is the rumor, is that she did not get paid. Also, I think about like you said, Cardi B was giving us so much. And then someone made a really good observation. I want to say it was like on Instagram or maybe it was a tweet. And they were just kind of like, Rihanna is a billionaire with a mega like underwear and makeup empire. She does not need to be here. And yet she is. I was like, okay, I understand. She was probably just like
trademarked Fenty Kids as well, just so we're clear.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like she's trying to make a name for herself in the industry. She's literally just like, I'm here. They asked me to perform. I'm preggo. This is what I can give. I'm giving you a nice lip. I'm giving you a nice slick back bun or whatever that was, ponytail. I'm giving you a smile. I'm giving you a little booty jiggle here, a little hip thrust here. That's all I have. That's all I have to give. And even at the end of the performance, she was just like, she looked so over it.
She did, but I was like, thanks, Rihanna, I guess, for gracing us with your pregnancy.
She was looking like, all right, can I get down now? Is it over? I was like, oh my God. It's kind of funny.
Like I said, I like her. I just this was not my favorite moment from her. She looks great.
She did.
But other than that, she always looks great. It's very few times I've seen Rihanna and been like, girl, what is this? So...
Yeah. See, that's why you have to have low expectations like me. So Oh
Yo,
no, absolutely novelist. She said the ASL girl had more energy.
yo,
She was getting me hyped.
shout out to the ASL girl because I went back and watched just the ASL performance.
She's amazing.
Man, she was living her best life.
She was giving it all. And you know what I noticed? She sang or like lip sang every line, even when Rihanna herself didn't. Like Rihanna wouldn't be singing and she would be like, and I was like, this is fucking hilarious. She was lip singing every line like her life depended on it. I appreciated it.
I'm glad that we're getting more ASL in these types of situations too, because they really are out here living their best lives. And I fully support it.
Fully support.
I'm struggling right now. We're trying to make sure all the tentacles show up. So my brain is like, oh my God, no. Oh, okay, wait. I have a question of the day. So I saw a tweet on Twitter. I saw a tweet and it was like, oh, for Valentine's Day, like we always know what the girls want and like what the girls need. Like, fellas, for Valentine's Day, like what would you like? So my question to you is, if you had a man, what would you get him for Valentine's Day? If Valentine's Day was the thing that he wanted to celebrate.
You can never go wrong with a good watch. Okay. I like a man that wears a watch. I like wrists too.
You like wrist?
I feel like a wrist can be very masculine and very just like strong and like, I don't know.
Note to self: if I try to set up Ocean Lake,
right, I'm gonna need to inspect the wrist. Okay,
like things like wrists and like forearms and knees, things that people don't think about, but when you're like getting to know someone closely and you're like, why is your knee like that? Like these are things that matter.
So we're gonna definitely go back to this attraction conversation in like 2 seconds because I need more information because I was not expecting that to be a response.
Wait, why did novelist say testicles?
Because I said tentacles, and you know we have no chill here. Anytime tentacles are conversations, we just.
I was trying so hard to figure out where we went left.
I was like, wait, testicles? What?
Like, hold on. Did my internet go out?
Why? How did we get here?
That's funny.
Yeah,
not Cole. Look,
I'm giving out Cole.
I'm dead. Not Cole. Don't make one man pay for the sins of their entire gender.
Is that what we're saying now?
No, they should all pay.
Ooh, not Cole. Yeah, a watch or ooh, you know what I've always
in that scenario, Ocean, like, are they giving you the same like level of gift? Like, what if you get him a watch and he gets you a teddy bear, like a little teddy bear from Walgreens?
We won't be together anymore. I'll keep the receipt and just say the watch was stolen and get my money back.
Yo, she said,
but
I would just say the watch was stolen.
If it's a big gift, I think it should be like we should like separate that. If it's a big gift versus if we're doing small gifts, because like if you're like separated because you're early dating, you're probably not buying him a watch.
I'm not buying him anything. You have to prove yourself that you're, that we're even supposed to be in a relationship. The way these men are these days, like people are like, oh, give them 90 days. I'm like, no. Just like at a job, when you've learned how to scam a job, you know that your 90-day probation lasts but so long. So you have your hair all done, but the minute the clock strikes on 91 day, you come in with micro braids. Like, we know this. So
very called out today, but that's cool.
So likewise, these men have learned how to scam the system. They will be nice and sweet and wonderful for 90 days. But the minute that clock strikes on that 91 day, the inner Kevin Samuels / demon just rears its head. May he rest in peace. And you're just like,
may he rest in peace.
What?
I thought the same thing. Rest in peace, though.
What did you say, Brittany?
thought you were talking about. You said Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace. May he rest in hell.
I was being nice. Okay.
I know.
I was being nice because he is dead.
My
and he
wine
did
is
die
being sipped
poor.
with a straw.
I mean, he died the opposite of a high value man. So I was just trying to be nice. But anywho, we're not gonna go down that road today. But but like, you know what I mean? Just like the inner misogyny and all these weird things start coming out, and you're just like, what happened? So I feel like, yes, if we just started dating, I don't even think we should exchange gifts. I think that's a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe a nice dinner or dessert or something cute, but gifts, no, not when you first start dating, but when you're in an established relationship.
How long is considered an established relationship for you?
I feel like when you've both had the talk and you're honest with each other, because I think at first, when you first start dating someone, you're not 100% honest with them because you're still scared to be that vulnerable and you don't really know who they are. You don't trust them. You don't know if you can really give them your truth. They don't know the same. You don't know if they're, lying to you. You don't know if this is who they really are. So I think that once you've gotten past that point where you both dropped your guards and you've been vulnerable in front of each other and had a conversation, like, we're together now. Okay, what does that mean for you? Okay, great. This is what that means for me. This is what my expectations are. These are what my boundaries are. Great. These are what my expectations are. These are what my boundaries are. Wonderful. Okay, we're together. Lovely. Love it. Once that conversation has been had, then you're in a committed relationship.
That sounded very healthy.
I know, I've been doing
how long work. How many times has that actually happened is the question of the day.
But I feel like it's only supposed to happen once. It's really only supposed to work out with one person.
You have to remember, Brittany, you're talking to...
Maybe two.
To a romantic, like...
Oh, I know. I was literally waiting to state, like, this is the most romanticized shit. Like, the dating pool is not trash right now I've ever heard.
I mean, I don't think it's romanticized because I have friends who are in healthy relationships and they talk to their partners and they know how to communicate with each other. Are there a lot of friends? No, I literally know two people, but I've seen it. So I know it exists.
It happens. I've seen it in the wilds.
Ladies and gentlemen, why Galentine's Day exists.
I feel like healthy relationships are real. It's just they're very hard to find, or people are not willing to work towards a healthy relationship. Either one person is wanting to work towards it and the other person isn't. Like, for both people to both be willing to work towards having a relationship that is healthy and where you communicate and you're open with each other is very hard in this day and age to have that.
You want to know why Galentine's Day will still exist? So remember how I told you guys I attempted to put myself on dating apps again? They're deleted. Again.
Wait, when was this attempt?
I forgot when I told you guys I was going to do it, but like I forgot that I did it, basically. Oof. So I went and looked, and there was a guy that matched. He was very attractive. I was like, oh, okay. So we match, and immediately I get this paragraph, like within like a short period of time, which made me really feel like it was copy and pasted. But basically it was him saying like, oh, I don't really be on this app a lot. So just give me your number and we can talk. And so I politely said, no, I'm not going to give out my number. Like, that's the whole purpose of the chat for this app. Like, we can just talk on the app. Like, there's a video option on the app. We can video call, everything. You want to know what his response was to this?
What?
Bitch, bye.
Oh.
If you didn't want to talk to me, why did you match with me?
I truly believe that we are in the age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius.
I feel like we just got tried. Why are we coming for Aquarius?
No. I'm serious. We are in the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is all about like enlightenment and like things coming into the foreground and like you really seeing things for what they are. And I think right now what's happening is women are waking up and seeing what the situation for what it is. I guess I should say women who want to date men are waking up and seeing kind of the situation for what it is. It's kind of like when you go to the club, no matter how nice of a club it is, you don't want to be in that club when the lights come on when they're trying to close. Because then you're going to be like, oh my God, I did not know this place was this disgusting.
Is that our translation for men? Because I stand by this analogy and I thought it was beautiful.
Yes, like this is what's happening right now. I feel like women are waking up and realizing that unfortunately, a lot of men are emotionally stunted.
And don't read.
And unfortunately, a lot of men either don't actually truly like women and see them as people, or they only see women as something that they can use or something to get them what they want. They don't see women as actual human beings with their own desires and hopes and dreams and personalities and everything like that. Either you're going to be a caricature or a stereotype or a tool. Yeah, like women aren't real people to a lot of these men. And then the way they talk about women, they don't even really like us very much based on the way that they speak about us. And it's just like, things are getting weird. Things are getting weird out here.
I mean, that's really how I felt when I read that message. I was like, clearly reading is not fundamental and I'm not attracted to idiots. Bye.
I don't know. It kind of makes me sad. I mean, given this is a dating app, and I feel like dating apps are where, like, it's kind of like how crabs are the cockroaches of the sea. Like, we love crab legs, but nobody can deny that they're the roaches of the sea. I feel like dating apps are kind of like that.
Damn.
That's where the roaches of men go to hide.
Damn. I have no rebuttal to this.
You're muted. What did you say?
I don't remember now because I was just responding to
Damn
it. Brittany said, and I don't remember what it is now.
It was more like, oh shit. I have no rebuttal to that because that's what it feels like. Also, to answer your question, Miss WSC Reader, I don't even need him to be a full-fledged bookworm. But like, I need you to have a hobby that is on the same level as my obsession with reading.
Brittany needs another nerd.
Thank you. Like, he doesn't have to be reading. Like, we just need a nerd because there will be a lot of times where I don't actually want to talk to you, but we can sit next to each other and game quietly.
Amen.
Okay. That sounds like a beautiful day.
I honestly, maybe it's because I was an English major and I dealt with cisgendered male bookworms a lot, and a lot of them were kind of annoying.
So, were they trying to mansplain to you a lot of things?
Oh yeah, big time. So
and out intellect speak you like, well, because of this.
Exactly. Like, if you're a pretentious bookworm, no, honestly, I don't really care. As long as you're not a pretentious butthole, like, you're not going to go to my bookshelf and, like, start, wrapping me up for whatever I'm reading or something.
If anybody goes to my bookshelf and makes comments, they're gone.
Because I'm not going out of my way to, like, look for bookworms, but I'm also not going out of my way not to look for them. Like, I don't necessarily care, but I think I'm on the level of Brittany because, like, I have a lot of nerdy shit in my room. So I want you to be a level of nerd, but then not too much of a level of nerd because I'm not super high, but I'm definitely not low either.
So I am very high, clearly. So it's like, I can't have a guy that makes it anybody who refers to being like playing video games and being a nerd as childish. Can't do that.
Yep. No.
They sound like they have very boring lives.
I have figurines all over my room. I'm not going to stop collecting them. So
I buy beautiful glass cabinets to put dolls in. I'm not going to stop doing that. Just no.
Yeah, I feel like when you have a hobby and you have stuff that you do that you're passionate about, you have to be with somebody that respects it. They don't have to understand it. Like, I don't need you to understand why I like to read books about men that bully the shit out of the girl that they like. You don't need to understand that. In fact, if you did, that would be a red flag, and that would be psychologically very disturbing.
I don't want it in real life.
Like, you don't need to understand why I read like BDSM. Like, you don't need to even like compute it. But as long as you're like, this is the shit she likes. Look, I like to collect shoes or whatever the fuck he likes to collect. I don't know. But, you know, it's like, I'm going to respect that you have 200 pairs of Jordans and not give you shit for buying another pair that I'm confused about because they look like the other 199 pairs that you own. But I'm not going to say anything. And so you also can't say anything about me buying yet another book from Amazon. I don't want to hear about it. What I mean? Like,
exactly.
That is a good way to explain it.
Because like I have a whole Nightmare Before Christmas shelf.
Oh my God, I almost bought the most ridiculous Funko Pop today because of that.
Everything is Nightmare Before Christmas, and you're not going to stop me from doing it. Is it obsessive? Of course. I'm not denying that. But I'm also not saying I'm going to get, stop doing it. So ignore the shop Disney box.
I feel like a lot of men, or maybe I shouldn't say a lot, but I should say some of the men I've met tend to hide their hobbies that they feel are weird, or they're not weird to me, but for maybe somebody made them feel like it was weird. Like I knew this guy that collected comic books and he almost didn't want to tell me. And I was like, that is so cool. I was just like, I think that's amazing.
Probably told him it was stupid.
I was like, I want to see all these comic books. I think that's freaking amazing. Like, I don't really understand it, but I think that's awesome that you have all these comic books, like things like that. Like, like collectibles, people who collect things, or people. I've met guys who are really into, what's that scene? Like metal. And they go to all these shows. I think stuff like that is really interesting. Like, I don't know. I just think that on a human level, you have to respect somebody who has a passion, a hobby that's different from yours. You can like learn something new. Like, I want to go to a fucking Screamo show and like scream and jump in a mosh pit and not die. Like, if you can take me with all your friends.
Let me add to my point. I need us to be on a similar level of nerd because I'm not doing that shit.
So I said, and we back.
Joy was like, let's bring it back in. Stuff like that to me is really cool because that's not something I would ever do of my own volition. But if I was dating somebody that was really into it, I'd be like, okay, I know I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to be safe because I'll be with you and your friends and I'm not going to die. And I might need earplugs tomorrow or like, I don't know. But this sounds amazing to just experience it.
Doing that.
What now?
So I could totally see you doing that. Like, and then being like, I haven't been able to hear in 4 days, but it was a good experience. Like, yeah.
I'd be like, oh my God, I was crowd surfing.
No.
You know what? Yeah, I can see you doing some shit like that. Yeah.
Like, okay, okay, list of things I will not do. No rock climbing, no camping.
What about rock climbing? That sounds
girl, you think my ass is gonna climb up some rocks?
Troy.
I barely got to a food truck festival with Brie.
I've heard rock climbing is really hard though. So in theory it sounds fun, but in reality,
no, none of that. Difficult. I'm not no raving. You know what? If you promise that I could go to the back of the rave where it's open and I'm not gonna die, you go to the front, sure, have at it. But if I have to be in it, immediately. Actually, that is when I 100% want you to have boys' nights.
In defense of that scene, from what I've heard, it's very safe unless, it's a Travis Scott show. But it's very safe.
Oh my God.
I mean, people died at his show.
I know, but this is the way you casually brought it up. We're just like, oh my God.
But I mean, they care a lot about safety and they're very like, okay, let's stop talking about this because this is random. I just didn't want somebody in the comments watching this back to be like, oh my God, this is so insulting to the culture of, metal. Like,
yeah, and I don't have no problem with it. To each their own. I'm just not gonna do it.
There's just a list of things that are just not on my playlist, and that is one of them.
Oh shit! Like your eyes bugged out at everything I said. No, I ain't going to no camping.
You know what? I agree with you with camping. I feel like camping is fun if there is a hotel nearby or a really nice camper / mobile home.
Glamping.
I've gone camping. Yeah.
Because I like things like roasting marshmallows by the fire and staring at the stars and like singing campfire songs. But when it comes to bathing and not having bears in my vicinity, I need there to be some accommodations.
Oh, shoot. I've done both.
Oh, no.
Of course you have.
Obviously.
I
mean, I can flex all day, but like glamping in the desert, top tier.
That sounds fun.
I was served by really attractive men, and I got to look at the stars uninhibited by lights. And I got to wake up and do yoga on sand dunes. It was great.
Oh my God. Yes.
Now, camping is ghetto, and I just would never recommend it.
I just don't know what's romantic about both of y'all smelling bad, both of y'all covered in dirt. Like the whole night you couldn't even sleep because the tent, there's a thin piece of cloth between you and nature. I'd be wide awake. Like, what the fuck was that noise? What was that?
Like, are we going camping in a cabin?
Yes, that sounds fun.
Okay.
Oh, I would definitely do cabin.
I do cabin.
Same.
Anything where like the elements have a barrier, a real barrier between me and it, I can do that.
100%. Especially because I do believe that weird creatures come out at night.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be out there with them.
It's just not my calling.
Nope. It's not my calling. Oh my gosh.
My mom used to be like, that sounds wonderful, but that is not my calling.
I agree.
I totally respect that.
Okay.
Troy, you never said what gift you would get.
Oh, that's right. We got
the pleasure of her company. All right, let's move on.
I'll buy them a Barnes and Noble gift card that I would then use.
I was going to say for you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so unfortunately, the tweet really made me feel like I just wanted to give men hugs because it was stuff like, oh, like I love it when my girl like encourages me and instead of telling me that like my ideas are dumb.
Damn.
And I was like, oh my God. Like,
I feel like on Twitter, you can really tell who has been emotionally abused.
Right.
Because the simplest things, and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of want to just like give all of you hugs because who is treating y'all like this?
That's probably true because for like Christmas, I was broke. And so I bought my brother Star Wars socks. And all I did was I bought one of those advent calendar Star Wars socks. I opened the box and put them into a bag, put it together with a Star Wars shirt that was like $5. And he wanted to open it before Christmas. And I said, sure. He opened it and would not stop talking about it for a week. And I was like, some socks? Okay.
That makes me so sad, you guys.
Yeah. Just
like, are men really that uncared for in our society?
I don't know, because I was like, y'all need a guys in time, whatever it's called. Y'all need some moments to appreciate yourselves, because woo,
that's so sad.
One of them was like, oh, I love it, like if my girl like serves me my food. And like, or like, I love it if my girl just checks on me and like asks me if I've eaten, like not actually like make me a meal, but like just check on me. I was like, who are
this
y'all?
Is very sad.
Who are y'all dating? Because like,
it's like, tell me you've been in an emotionally abusive relationship without telling me.
Bare minimum.
I was like, is this not the bare minimum for
it? Is
like, is this not bare minimum?
It is.
And that's why I'm like, dang. So if you have a guy friend or whatever, reach out to him sometimes and just ask him how he's doing. Because apparently they don't get that often.
I want to say I will, but I feel like that shit can backfire so quick because then they'll be like, she's in love with me. And I'm like,
she wants me.
I mean,
I just, from one human to the next, I just wanted to see if your soul was doing well. But here we are.
I feel like at that point, I would literally write it too. I mean, from one human being to another, I was just checking on you.
I almost got a big promposal in high school because I was laughing at a guy's joke that was just genuinely funny. It was just a funny
oh my
joke.
gosh, you almost got a big promposal because
and I had to get my friend to shut that fucking shit down. I didn't know him. Like I had like
Sorry.
I'm not joking.
What I was expecting.
I'm not joking. Like I said like 4 words to him my entire life.
Ooh, shiitake.
I feel like all mothers should just start telling their sons, and fathers too, obviously, if a girl is nice to you, that does not mean that she's secretly in love with you. It is just a basic human kindness.
Like you as a person deserve kindness that is not romantically involved. Like,
oh my God.
I think that is a lesson that needs to be taught.
Not a big proposal just for laughing at a joke.
Dang, laughing at a joke.
He was finna go all out because you laughed at his joke.
No, what the real sad part was, my really close friend at the time, like she was telling me this, and I'm just gonna give him a name. I'm gonna call him Jonathan because it's far from his name. She was like, yeah, and Jonathan told Ella that he's gonna give you a proposal. I was like, who the fuck is Jonathan?
Oh my God.
I was like, who is that?
Oh
no. And she was just like, because we didn't have a class together either. Like he was just in this class with us one day. I think because our friend was there that he was friends with, and I was like, oh, but I don't know him. Like
emotional damage.
And then that friend who told me ended up getting a proposal that she didn't want. So we just had bad luck.
Guess what? Jonathan is now sitting in his mom's basement.
No,
typing into an incel chat about how
you know why he didn't do that? Because I didn't say ew.
Oh my
God. Okay, fine.
Yo, Ursula, you walked right into that. I don't even know.
I know.
Right? You walked right into that.
You walked right into that, my friend. Just
oh my God.
Crap,
man.
bro.
But I really was just saying that to illustrate that, like, men can be fragile at times, and they will use something like that as a reason to just go to the dark side. And you're just like, the girl didn't even know you, sir. Did you have to burn down this whole city block? Like, calm down.
Oh, that's unfortunate, but facts, because they be really out here doing that.
I think the moral of the story is both women and men, we have to heal.
Mm-hmm.
I also just want men and women to like stand up and stop accepting like below average things.
Like that TikTok, stand up.
Like when your gut is telling you that this is not okay, like your gut is usually on something.
Right.
Listen to your gut, people.
I think we're socialized to feel that being alone is the worst thing that can happen to you.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
And so people accept a lot of things because they're running away from that. And I think that there needs to be more normalizing of being alone, but not lonely, but being happy in your own company and being okay with that over accepting an abusive situation or a situation that's not beneficial for your well-being.
I definitely think that a lot of us need to learn how to be alone before we be with somebody else. Yeah. But that's not something that's taught. Like that's something you eventually, I mean, if you get a therapist, you'll learn it. But like, that's not something we're especially women. Women are not taught, women are not taught be alone, learn what you like. That kind of stuff. We're taught, well, I hope it's changing now, but there's always been a like underlying message of like, get the man.
Yes.
Even if you don't like men, get the man. That's
I've seen so many TikToks of cis men and women talking about how like Valentine's Day depresses them and how it makes them all sad because their friends have significant others and they don't. And my only thing is just like, I understand that because especially like as we get older, I think there's a really big like cloud over our heads to say that, oh, you haven't done this when other people have, you aren't married, you don't have kids, yada yada yada. But if you can't appreciate your alone time or even appreciate like for instance Galentine's Day, doing stuff with just your girls or your friends in general, then I think that's something that needs to be worked on, because then when you get into a relationship, you're going to be super codependent on your person, and that's not healthy either.
Right.
Also, can we talk about how many people are married and very unhappy in their situation? I think marriage is glamorized a lot, and there are a lot of people who are married and are miserable for whatever the reason is. You know, it's not always the other person. I find that a lot of the misery comes from within and not doing the inner work. And then the other person just exacerbates that misery. Like, you can't blame everything on the other person unless you're like literally being abused. But I've just noticed that a lot of, I guess I shouldn't even say married, but just partnered people in relationships are extremely unhappy. And either they've just settled for what the situation is, or there's something that they're getting out of it so they can't leave, or they don't feel like they can leave. Or I noticed this in the church especially. I don't want to, demonize the church or anything, but there were a lot of people I noticed that were married in the church that were very unhappy. And they were just like, well, this is what marriage is, you just accept it. This is what it is. You're gonna be unhappy. And it's like, and then they use religion to cover that up. And they're just like, well, we don't believe in divorce, and God hates divorce, and, marriage is a duty and it's not for fun, and it's for children and for, raising a family and blah, blah, blah.
Anybody who says that, that sounds like a miserable life to live.
But I just feel like so many people are saying, like you were saying, Troy, like people on TikTok, single people are saying how Valentine's Day makes them unhappy. And I'm like, the grass always seems greener on the other side. Mm-hmm. Like, at least you have your peace. At least you have your calm. There's nobody like missing the toilet.
Oh my God. You just be out here shooting straight today.
I mean, when people miss the toilet that you love, you suck it up and you clean up the pee on the floor. But I'm just saying.
No, you don't. You tell them to bring their little nasty asses in the room and clean it
up. Look, you pick up the towels on the floor in the bathroom. You do what you got to do. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to do that. Just be happy where you're at, because the grass always seems greener on the other side. It's always better to be happy in your own company than miserable in the company of someone else. That's horrible.
I actually have a question that corresponds to this. I saw this tweet where people were like debating this. I don't know where the tweet stemmed from. They had this conversation on Twitter all the time. But it was a conversation about how long is too long to date somebody without getting a ring, regardless of sexuality, gender, whatever. But like, how long is too long? Okay. And the vast majority of people were saying, dump him, girl, if he hasn't proposed after 3 years. And I was just like, 3 years ain't that long of a time, though. So I don't know why people were saying like that. I feel like that's
this question. I hate this question because I feel like it's so circumstantial.
It is.
I feel like, for example, if you start dating someone when you're young, and young can vary. Young can be teenage young can be, in high school young can be in college young. Like, you're not going to be getting married anytime soon for majority, unless, you are very religious or you're just those people that get married super young. But for the most part, you're not going to get married young because school loans, people don't have jobs, people don't have careers, people don't even know who they freaking are, that your parents are still paying your freaking phone bill. You don't even have a place to live. You're living in a dorm. Like, you're not getting married anytime soon. And even after you graduate, you have to establish yourself. I think that things start to get a little bit more dicey when you're older. I think if you're like late 20s into mid 30s, at that point, you kind of know who you are. You're a little bit more established in life. I think where women do themselves a disservice is when they start dating men. They are nervous to be upfront because they don't want the man to like get scared off, right? So they don't say, I'm dating for marriage, or I'm very serious and I'm looking for a serious commitment. I want to get married. So if you're not interested in that, then we just go our separate ways. So then women get themselves into these situations where it's been like 5 years and your boyfriend hasn't proposed because you never came out and said, I want to get married. Are you interested in getting married? Would you like to get married? Do you want kids? Okay, well, that's what I want. So if that's not what you want, then we need to go our separate ways. How long would you wait for? And you can have these conversations with men. Like, how long you think is reasonable to date if you want to get married soon? Oh, 2 years. Oh, 2.5 years, a year, and have that conversation. But people don't have that conversation, and then they get hurt, and then they wonder why they're waiting.
And I also think it has to you have to have a conversation of what your end goals look like with each other, and even by yourself. Like if one of your goals is you want to get married, you want to have kids, and you have a specific timeline, then you should definitely have that conversation about it. But on the other hand, I feel like a lot of times that, especially in the Black community, we have so many conversations about marriage and acting as if like it has to be that you have to want to get married, you have to want to have children, you have to have this stereotypical life that society has told us that we all want. Regardless, like I watched this one Asian couple on YouTube, and they've been together since like high school, and they're like I think 30 and 31 now, and people are always like, I mean, people are mean. They're just like, girl, he does not want you if he hasn't proposed yet. Even though like even early days of her YouTube, she talked about that, you know, she wants to get married one day. It's not something that's really on her radar right now, and she doesn't really care when it is and all this other stuff. But I'm just like, well, maybe she just doesn't want to get married right now. Like, it doesn't have to be that she is fooling herself into believing, oh, I don't want to get married, something like that. Some people just don't care about marriage. Like, didn't Don Cheadle only just get married to his girlfriend of like 30 years? Like, it just depends on the person. Like, if somebody's end goal is, I want to have kids by this age, like I want to have kids by 35. Okay, well then if you're 32, you're damn right you should hurry up because your timeline is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yes.
There's some people who are like in their early 20s who are just like, oh, I have 5 years before I care about that stuff. I feel like Oshale said, you have to have a conversation. And I think society has this problem where there's a lot of projection of, I want this, and I can't see how you don't want this. Like, I want to get married and I want to have kids, and I wouldn't go past 3 years, 5 years before I want to get married or have kids, yada yada. That's fine if you want to do that, but then projecting on other people that they might want, that if they want to do it just because you want to do it, I don't get that. Like, not everyone's end goal is marriage. Everyone's end goal is having children. There are people who go their whole lives without having kids, go their whole lives without getting married. It's really not that big of a deal.
I agree. I also feel like there are different types of relationships. Like, for example, I knew this girl who dated this guy for 10 years. They started dating in high school and they dated for 10 years and they were super happy together, and they never got married. They were just together. Well, something ended up happening. I don't really know. They broke up. She started dating somebody else, was engaged within a year, is now married and has kids. I don't know why that other relationship, they didn't get married, but she wasn't pressed about it. She was happy with that person at the time. And then it didn't work out in the end. And then she met someone else and they immediately felt like they were supposed to get married. I don't know. Like, I just feel like
sometimes it just clicks with certain people and it doesn't with others. Like, I feel like you can be in a relationship and feel like you're content, and you could be married and you can feel like you're content with this marriage, and then y'all divorce. And the next relationship you're in could be totally different. You could be like, oh my God, I've only known you for like 2 weeks, but I want to get married.
Yes.
Those things happen to people. And if that's your life, that's your life. Like, hey.
Yeah. I think that it's just hard I hate questions like that because they're so circumstantial, and it's just like no two people are the same. No two relationships are the same. You know,
then my next question would be, you want someone to get married before they are ready to get married? So like, if you're saying that 5 years is too long, what if for that person it isn't too long? What if that person says, no, I'm still enjoying my life? Like, if I met someone at 18 and 5 years later they're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm not trying to get married. Okay, well, they're in their mid 20s. Like, they don't have to get married right now. And if you don't want to get married at 30, you have to get married at 30. If you don't want to get married at 40, you have to get married at 40. If you do want those things, then, you know, whatever. But I also don't think you should put pressure on yourself.
I agree.
I know that, you know, technically we all have a biological clock. I don't care what anyone says. Men have it too, because if you need pills for erectile dysfunction, all that type of stuff, there's also a clock for people with penises as are for uteruses. It just is.
Agreed.
It's just a different version of it. And so regardless of what you have, there is one for everybody. But I I understand that though. I understand like you coming to an age where you're just like, what if this never happens to me? Because then people will be like, oh, there's freezing your eggs. Yeah, because everyone just has money in their pockets to freeze their eggs.
Yeah, I feel like that whole conversation is, I don't want to say it's gaslighting, but it is kind of infuriating to not take those women seriously who feel like the time is running out and they're getting panicky. But at the same time, I have seen quite a few women make horrible mistakes because of that pressure and feeling like the clock is winding down. So they just marry the next person who comes along who is interested in them. And then that turns out to be a complete disaster. So sometimes I wonder, like, I guess the older I get, I just realize, the more I realize that it's better to lose out on that dream of having kids and to have kids with the wrong person in the wrong situation, because it's very selfish. Like, children are not accessories. They're not wish fulfillment. They're not a way for you to extend your life or extend your dreams. They're not for you to live vicariously through. Children are people. And you can't just bring them into the world because you want them so bad, but you bring them into a horrible, toxic situation with a parent that maybe doesn't want them or isn't a good person or is abusive or is a narcissist or is a covert this or is that or is that. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the best thing as a woman you can do for your future children is to find them a really good dad. And if that doesn't happen, unless, you know, you have the money to do it yourself, like I know a lot of career women now are just having kids on their own and they're just going to the sperm bank. They really want a kid and they're just having kids on their own. More power to them. I think that's great. If you have the resources for that, wonderful. But I think it's worse to bring a child into this world into a really unstable environment. I think just because you wanted them so bad. And you're like, oh my God, my biological clock, I have to have a child. It's like, well, what about that child's life? What about their future? What about their stability? What about their happiness? It's better to not have a kid, in my opinion. And there's so many ways that you can pour into a child's life. You can mentor a child. You can, you know, go to your local boys and girls club. There's so many things that you can do in the community to feel that like hole inside of you that wants to nurture and pour out. And that would be my advice, because I would rather get married to the right person in my 40s or 50s or heck, even 60s, and be incredibly happy and know that I've found a life partner to do life with and I trust this person, than to like rush into something because you're just like, oh my God, my time is running out. Oh my God, I want kids. I want this. And then you just end up in an even bigger disaster because you were just so impatient. And I don't know, like, to me, that just doesn't make any sense at all, because I just don't think that kids' lives are things to play with. Like, people do it all the time. Like, they're just like, oh, I just want a child. And I'm just like, but what about that child's life? Mm-hmm. What situation are you bringing them into? That's not right. I agree. That's just my 2 cents.
Vina said, what's crazy is when those YouTube couples break up.
Bruh.
It'd be the dramas that be going on with them too. I'm like, y'all can't just quietly break up.
Yeah.
No, because how many of them were broken up because the husband decided he wanted to sleep with one of their subscribers?
Yeah.
It's so many of them. I was like, dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
It's kind of sad. Like, I learned early on never to put any of those YouTube couples on a pedestal, because a lot of YouTube couples that I used to love, a lot of them aren't even together anymore.
I know. I don't
feel like that pressure has to be so hard though. Like especially like I feel like it's one thing when you're like just a normal YouTuber and like, you know, you're doing a vlog and your significant other is just like in the back and might have said something funny here and there, and like your audience just finds him funny, him or her, they are funny. But it's another thing when it's like your whole like
channel
life, your channel, everything is based on your relationship, your family, and everything like that. Because then 9 times out of 10, your audience is coming for that. They're coming for you, playing pranks on your man, or your significant other, like crazy stories, or like the murder with my husband people. Like, you know, like they're coming for that. They're coming for both of you or whoever you are. So then, you know, I don't know, the whole like exposing the people on there. I'm just like, did he beat your ass? If not, I really don't care. Like, please.
Yeah, the whole couples thing on YouTube is a slippery slope. And personally, I don't think it's a good idea for any couple to showcase their relationship to that level, because then you become a brand and you become a product, and the lines between like personal and business blur, and like real life and internet blur, and it gets real messy. It can get real messy real quick. I know some couples are able to manage it well and make it work for them, and that's great, but a lot of them don't make it.
Yeah. A lot.
Especially once the fame hits and the like your husband has groupies sliding into his DMs and you doing meet and greets, people rubbing up on your man and want to take pictures with your man. Like, no.
What is that tweet? No, I do not support all women, because some of you women are weird.
Yeah. Like, then things just get awkward, because you're just like, okay, well, you're here as a brand and as business people. He has to take these pictures with these women and smile and be like, oh, thanks for your support. But as a wife, you about to knock her upside her head and be like, look, hold up. Take your hand away from his stomach. That is my area.
Like, that is my area?
That would be me. I'd be like, okay.
I'm about to say, Oshley already knows she cannot be a content wife.
Not at all.
That would not
at all. Like, I would get like, you know, an assault and battery charge. Like, it's just not something I do.
Assault and battery, friend?
Yes.
Assault and battery?
I mean, I would use words first, and if they didn't work,
I would use words
first. Did you guys see that viral Reddit thread about the woman and her neighbor?
No.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you like the dumbed down version. So basically, this girl, she moves in with her best friend, and nothing happens. Okay, wait, let me stop. Nothing happens with the best friend's husband. It's not about him. She moves in with her best friend and her family, right? And so the neighbor next door who had the family helps them move in, right? And so they're taking the train and they see each other every morning because they have to go the same train ride. She says that this guy, talks about his family and wife all the damn time. He's on the phone with his daughter every time they're on the train, yada, yada, yada. And she slowly starts having a crush on him, right? So anyway, I guess she thinks that he's feeling the type of way about her too, and
I hate her.
Talking about how the wife isn't pretty, and
I hate her.
She knows the wife from high school, by the way.
Yeah, she knows the wife from high school. Heard it.
I did read this mess. This blew my mind.
The girl talking about she's boring and not good for him. So anyway, the wife gets into a car accident while she's off on a business trip. Okay, and he's freaked out, right? So he asks the neighbor, the girl who's writing this Reddit post, to watch his kids until one of their family friends comes to, take care of it. And she said, yeah, sure. So in the Reddit post, she's talking about how she's so sad because she hates his kids, but she knows she'd be such a good wife to him, and yada yada yada. Blah, 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 blah,
and she knows that they belong together, and like,
wait,
but she hates his kids.
The icing on the cake of all of this is that he finds the Reddit post, texts her, and is like, hey, is this you? Because if so, we need to talk. I am not leaving my family for you. If I gave you the wrong impression, I am sorry.
Stop.
I think of you. Wait. He says, I think of you as a neighbor, not as a friend. I think of you as a neighbor.
Oh, damn. It was the other part that took the cake. It was her being like, oh, it's very clear that he's unhappy in his marriage, because if his kids are this bad, then that means he must not have a loving home with his wife. And like, obviously we belong together. Like, it was pure delusion.
Oh, she's psychotic is what you're telling me.
Kind of stuff where you need to watch your kids and your wife. Oh, ooh. And the wife was also 5 months pregnant at the time.
At the time.
Yes.
This is scary.
Wild.
I hope they were ripping her apart in the Reddit comments. Like, girl, you have lost it.
Deleted it because she was so embarrassed.
Like, she was like, I can't talk about this to anybody else because they would judge me. Sis,
I'm sure.
Hello?
Like, how do you say in the same Reddit post that all he does is talk about his wife and kids? And then the same post that he's unhappy?
The delusion.
Side eye.
I think the part that really blew my mind reading that was the fact that she really put in there that she just knew that they could be together because they had good conversations on the train on the way to work. Like they did not hang out anywhere else, just the train ride to work.
This kind of makes me feel sad for this girl in the sense that how starved for basic human connection can you be that literally talking to somebody on a commute to a 9-to-5 job is your proof that y'all are soulmates. I'm just
okay. I have a question though. I have a real question about this because you know those "Am I the asshole" pose.
I love those.
I love them. Okay, let me tell y'all something. If it was me, okay, I'd be changing genders. I'd be changing ages. I would change how we talk. Like, we wouldn't be on the train talking. It'd be like, oh, he works at Costco.
Yeah,
I get the milk my kids like.
Yeah,
like, no,
you're so right.
It would be a whole fiction, girl, a fan fiction. None of this shit is real.
You still get the gist of what I'm saying, but I'm not saying all of that because he found it.
Oh no!
The part that kills me is that he found it, and like she clearly didn't change anything.
Not a thing. Because he knew right away. He said, "Is this you?"
You want to know her response to what he said, though?
What?
Can I call?
Can I call you? Wait, can I call you? Like, no.
I would have been like, so I've already blocked you and changed my locks. We may or may not be moving next week, but I'm going to need you to stop.
That's when you got to whoop somebody's ass. Could you imagine if his marriage got ruined because of her crazy ass?
It sounds like a Netflix show. I can't.
It does.
It's very you.
I cannot.
It sounds like Penn Badgley. I can't say his last name.
Executively produced it. Absolutely.
Yep.
It's going to be called Me, Not You. Me,
Not You.
Oh, God. We're terrible humans.
Oh, man. But that's so awkward. Those Am I the Asshole posts would be amazing.
Though. Oh, I love those. That's one of my favorite things to read.
Yeah.
One of the ones I read that really had me reconsidering my entire existence was this one that basically said, okay, so it was this girl and her sister was married to this guy, right? Mm-hmm. And they had a kid together. But unfortunately, shortly after the kid was born, her sister died. Like her sister passed away.
Oh, crap.
And she died from some sort of illness. I don't know if it was like cancer or something like that. So they knew she was going to die. So while she was in the dying process, she like made a whole bunch of videos for her daughter so her daughter could watch like on her wedding day, on her sweet 16, on her first day of school, like these milestones in her life. And she helped her sister like make these videos and do all these things, right? So her sister passes away. Tell me how her other sister gets with the husband.
Huh?
The sister opposite of the one who helped her?
So, yeah, she has two sisters. One dies. The other sister gets with the husband. And, it gets worse. They adopt the little girl and completely erase the mom. They delete all the pictures of the mom. They destroy the videos that the mom made for the daughter. She adopts the daughter. They like make the daughter believe that was her biological mom, not her real mom who died. And they make the grandparents go along with it because they tell the grandparents, if you don't go along with this, you will never see your grandchild. So you have to go along with this. Well, the sister that is writing this post that helped make all the videos, she becomes the black sheep of the family because she was just like, this is so wrong on so many levels. This is fucked up. I'm not okay with this. You can't just erase my sister. And she had some of the videos, like she had like backup copies of some, not all the videos that her sister had made, but some of them because she had been helping her make them. So she had like the outtakes and stuff like that. And so she basically got cut off from her entire family because she refused to go along with the lie. They even changed the little girl's name.
Wow.
One Tree Hill?
Girl, long story short, the little girl grows up and this her whole life she's heard like bad stories about her aunt. Like, oh, your aunt's not part of the family because she's like just rumors, like, oh, she's crazy or this, that, and the third. And she never came around the family because she just couldn't stomach the fact that they literally erased her sister. So she never really got to see her niece growing up or nothing like that. They would see each other literally in passing. She would never come to holidays, never come to birthdays, nothing, because she was so disgusted. So long story short, the daughter ends up finding out the truth. I don't know how. I don't know. She went digging in the attic, found some shit. I don't know.
The aunt told her. The aunt didn't tell her?
No.
Yo.
She found out the truth, and she literally lost her shit. She was in college, I think. She had a whole identity crisis. She was having like a mental breakdown.
Oh my God.
She reached out to her aunt and was like, is this the real reason why you haven't been around my whole life? And the aunt was like, I'm so sorry you had to find out like this, but yes, it's true. This is your real mom. I have pictures of her. If you want, I have some videos that she made for you. Girl, the whole family was destroyed. So she stopped talking to her parents. She was so shook that this happened. She was pissed at her grandparents, so she stopped talking to them too. Then the parents had the nerve to go to the sister's house and be like, you destroyed our family.
Not you destroyed our family. What?
Girl, this whole thread had me in a chokehold. I was like, people in the comments are like, we need an update. What's going on? Is everyone okay? We need an update.
I need an update.
I need an update. I check it every day.
Oh my gosh.
What in the hell?
Isn't that the craziest shit you've ever heard in your entire life?
I'm just tired of people like.
So then people in the comments were like, are you sure your sister died of cancer?
Oh
thinking like the other sister like poisoned her or some shit. They were like, something weird about this. So she dies and they just immediately erase her. Are you sure they weren't having an affair before she died?
This is so much.
So like in real life, when your family members, especially siblings, start dating someone, they don't become your sibling.
That's what it's supposed to happen.
Like I can't like sometimes Pig will be like, ooh, Vonnie's so fine. I'd be like, ew, girl, what? Like,
yeah,
immediately no. And she's like, what? And I'm just like, no, bro. He's on your level now. That's dead.
I'm most disappointed in the grandparents because if I was a parent and my kids were doing this mess, I'd be like, look, I'm going to petition for custody of this little baby and take y'all to court on the grounds of insanity because y'all ain't about to erase my child from the fact that she was alive.
Yeah,
try me to erasure of her. We're going to family court.
I'm so uncomfy. Oh my gosh.
The way I would have dragged them to hell and back in the court system of law and be like, oh, they're crazy.
See, that's how you know being ghost must not be a real thing because I would haunt the shit out of my sister.
Okay.
The fact that they literally just erased her like she never existed shook.
That's insane.
And they were like, oh, it's in her best interests. I'm like, how?
Who's best interest? Best interest? You could still be with the daddy and be her auntie.
And I guess they thought she was never going to find out. I don't even know how that's possible either.
Me either.
Like she's never going to do a 23andMe one day. Like she's going to find out.
Like someone in that family gonna do 23andMe and be like, hold up, your family tree ain't matching.
Oh no, your family tree wreath right here. Let's go back.
But isn't that the craziest shit you've ever heard in your life?
Wild. That is too much for my soul.
You know what? I was okay. So I remember I told you guys I'm rewatching Charmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like watching this one video. It's like a compilation of one of the Piper's sons, right? And in the comment section, people were arguing about something that happened at the end of the season. And I meant to tell you guys this in the group chat. I thought this was so funny. I was like, oh my God. Sometimes male nerds are over the top.
They're worse.
This guy in the comment is just like, I mean, going off on this video, talking about the show is so effing stupid. Like, this is not how effing time travel works. And I mean, it's going off. And I was like, I couldn't help myself. I commented, I was like, you know, time travel is not real, right?
Yeah, I was like, not you gatekeeping something that's fake. What?
And they be going into, they be like, the rules of relativity and this, and you're just like, this concept is made up.
Like, this concept is not real. Like,
it's like arguing with the Scientologist about Scientology. Like, this was made from a science fiction novel. Are you sure you're aware?
And I was like, and out of every fantasy show you could be arguing about, you chose Charm.
Right. Considering we all enjoyed Charm for reasons unknown.
Oh
my god! No one watches Charmed because
like the least sophisticated witch show that's ever been created.
Like, remember when one of the witches was like completely in love with a whole demon? Remember that? Like,
yes,
ain't nobody watching this for facts,
girl. Like, at
that's
all.
really funny.
Half the time, I would forget a demon after they died.
Every single time.
There are like 7 or 8 seasons of Charmed. Ain't nobody remembering all that shit.
No,
I know there's 4 sisters.
Yes,
and that's as far as I got.
That's really funny. The sad part is now, like, the actresses in real life, like, all hate each other. That's unfortunate.
I think they hated each other while they were on the show.
Yeah, I think the only ones that are friends are the one who played Piper and Prue.
Yeah.
Oof.
So Holly and Shannon, right?
Yeah.
From Montana.
And they all hated Alyssa
Milano.
Yeah.
But
she must not be a very nice person.
She gives bitch vibes, so I'm not truly shocked here.
Also, like, apparently, like, Holly, who played Piper, was on board to do more seasons, but then Rose and Alyssa were just like, no, we don't want to, and that's like the only reason it ended.
It must have been a hostile work environment. Like, I'm sure they were like, I don't want to work here no more. I'm out.
Kind of like Samantha off of Sex and the City.
Yeah, she was over them hoes. She was look, y'all gonna have to kill me off because y'all looking decrepit as hell in this show, and I'm not coming back. Like, I literally tuned in for 3 episodes and I was like, what in the actual wrinkles is going on here?
You actually tried to watch the new one?
I watched it up until they killed off Big. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Even though it came out on Twitter a year before.
I'm about to say, it's the way that, like, Twitter knew that was happening.
Well, you know how some people be like, oh my God, you spoiled me. But anyway, and apparently I just saw a screenshot. Apparently they're bringing Aiden back.
For what?
Apparently she is going to have a relationship with Aiden in the next season, which I won't be watching. But I was just kind of like, the way that she emotionally abused that man, and you're bringing him back for more, for why?
He emotionally abuses everybody.
I was like, Aiden deserves better. Justice for Aiden. Don't bring him back just to have her abuse him again, please.
Though, the fact
she did not pick him. She didn't choose him. Let him move on. I would have loved it if they brought Aiden back and he was married to some beautiful woman. He had 5 kids and he was living his best life.
In the movie, like, he was married, but that didn't stop him from wanting the old girl.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they never bring him back happy. They always bring him back as like an accessory to her life.
Yeah, that's really just trifling.
And I'm just like, she just lost her husband. Can she just be content by herself? No.
Yeah, why does she need to date?
I thought he was the love of her life. Can she have a moment?
Didn't she spend 6 seasons of abuse trying to get him? Like,
yes. Look, the fact that he left her at the altar and she still went back to him.
I was like, that man came all the way to Paris for you, only to leave you at the altar.
I just remember I watched it first in theaters because I was friends with people that forced me to go.
Okay, my roommate did the same thing to me. I understand.
I watched it again with my mom because it just came on randomly on TV. And I just remember my mom being like, ah! like, she was like, oh no, like, no, not even. She wasn't even speaking words, and I'm like, dead. And I was just like, yeah, Mom, your reaction was the entire world when we watched this scene.
It was just, I'm sorry, but she's like the perfect definition of I will do anything to get married. Because what?
Oh man, that show is a train wreck, and I don't plan on watching anymore. But
Vina says about Charmed, they're doing a fan event with everyone but Alyssa.
Oh my gosh, there is this one interview with Rose McGowan that has gone viral, where they're asking her about like,
Again,
another one went viral.
Rose McGowan has so many that go viral.
Y'all know she has no chill. They were asking her about like the Me Too movement, how like Alyssa Milano has become the face of the Me Too movement. And in the interview, the interviewer is like, how do you feel about that? And she's just looking at her stone face and she's like, I mean, what do you mean? Like, and she's just like, well, how do you feel about the fact that she's become the face of the Me Too movement? And Rose McGowan has this like long silence. And she's just staring at the interviewer. And then she goes, I mean, do you think I don't know these people? I know these people in real life. And then she goes, I hate her.
You know what? Respect.
At least she's upfront about it.
Girl, if you can find that interview, it really makes you chuckle. She had no chill. She was like, I hate her. I was like, oh shit. Gloves are off.
My favorite sister anyway.
I know. I loved her character. I was so sad when didn't she leave the show before the rest of them, or did the show just end?
No, the show just ended. The only one who left is Shannon, who played Prue.
Oh, that's right. Shannon, she did leave. My goodness. I was like, okay, Rose, let's not do any more interviews about this.
I say let's do more so that you can continue to tell them that they're stupid for asking you.
You know who has a podcast? Holly, who plays Piper, the guy who plays Leo, and the one who plays their son who comes back from the future.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, but the show's been out for 20 years.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler.
Wait, they have a podcast together?
They have a podcast together, and it's called Halliwell House or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you guys.
Wait, this is the thing that I didn't know existed. I need to listen to it now.
That's really cute.
I love it because they're all really close. And I remember when I was younger, I had the hugest crush on Chris, who that's not his real name. He
played the son?
Yes.
Yes, he played the son from the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had the biggest crush on him. And then a few years ago, I was rewatching Charm for the millionth time. And my mom brought it to my attention that in present day, Chris would be 20. I was like, what? She was he was born in 2004. She was so in real life, you're a cougar. I was like, why would you say that?
That's messed up.
She did not have to do you like
that. Damn.
It'd be your own mama.
It'd always be your family,
own mama, for real.
Family is the worst.
Oh my gosh.
Out here ruining fantasies.
That is so funny.
That's so cute. It's funny. You rewatch Charm like I rewatch One Tree Hill. That's my rewatch show. It used to be Gilmore Girls until I realized that I really hate both Lorelai and Rory.
Rory is so
stop
annoying.
Rewatching the show.
So annoying.
Wow.
I was like, I hate you both.
I tweeted once and I got a lot of hate for it where I was like,
she's insufferable.
I was like, I'm like, it's November. It's time for your yearly reminder that it was neither Logan, Dean, nor Jess's fault. It's always Rory.
She's insufferable. And it's you don't realize it until they did the reboot. And you're like, she really was horrible.
She's horrible.
Ooh.
Season 1, Rory was so cute and nice. I liked her in season 1. She was fine.
I know.
And as she progressed, I'm just like,
it just got worse and worse and worse.
And then the season where she has sex with Dean, I was like, girl, love yourself, please.
But here's the thing. Season 1, Rory had no influence from her grandparents.
Yeah.
The moment they came into her life, things went downhill real quick.
I really wish they would have. I think it would have been more interesting if they would have tackled whenever they did flashbacks here and there. It would always be Lorelai's relationship with her parents.
Yeah,
I would see about her life at Stars Hollow, in Stars Hollow, when she had just had Rory, because
that would have been cute.
Many things that she would say about it, I'd be like, "This sounds so interesting. Why can't we know what happened when you first got there? I don't get it. I don't really care about you, Chris."
Yeah, I never cared about them either. I was like, y'all clearly don't belong together. Stop trying to make fetch happen, please, for the love of God. But they did not.
I've never watched an episode of Gilmore Girls. I have no idea what y'all talking about.
That was one of my favorite shows coming up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I loved that show.
That watch Living Single.
Oh yes.
Venus said that Hogwarts wannabe season of Charmed. Wait, which one? We've gotten to 6 different things since Charmed. I'm sorry.
Wait,
I'm so late with these
the topics. Hogwarts season of Charmed?
I don't know. Oh, maybe she's talking about the magic school?
Probably.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that was so stupid. But also, nothing about Charm's storyline was good.
No, none of it makes sense.
I was about to say, when you watch it back when you're older, you're like, none of this makes sense.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's very much a early 2000s show in the fantasy department with its graphics too. Like sometimes when they orb, if you look at the back, like the walls like kind of jiggle a little bit. And they're just like, oh, okay, well. So I don't know. I think for some shows I just like go in like if I'm rewatching it, especially like there's no reason for this to happen in 2023. But if I'm rewatching something, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is terrible.
When I watch stuff like that, it just makes me laugh. Like, damn, we've come a long way.
We've come
a
such
long way. A lot of it is like nostalgia rewatching.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Agree. Hey, y'all, joining hella late. I'll have to catch the replay, but I'm here. Hey, girl.
Hey. Did anyone watch Gossip Girl?
The new
but you know, I like toxic high school rich kids.
They already canceled the new one, but I was talking about the original.
The new one, and my sister is so sad.
Really? I was like, people were watching that?
I'm
Isn't that
sorry,
the one where the teacher was Gossip Girl? Like one of the teachers was Gossip Girl or something?
Yeah.
I had no interest.
I didn't have interest either. The original Gossip Girl was amazing.
The original Gossip Girl is just too good.
It's so much mess, and it's white mess, so I love it.
I just feel like certain shows can't be rebooted, like 90210, Gossip Girl, because they existed.
I kind of like the reboot of 90210. I watched that when it came out.
Well, that one is different. I mean, like if they try to reboot it now.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like because it existed in a time before everyone was worried about being so PC, that now when things get rebooted, it's like uber like PC, uber like, oh, let's make sure we're checking off all the boxes and all the quotas are being met and nobody can drag this on Twitter. And it's almost like they go too far in the other direction. And so it just comes off very disingenuous.
Watching shows that like came out in like the 80s and the 90s and going back and rewatching them, and you're just like, oh my god, this is so incredibly effective.
Yeah.
Golden
like
Girls.
Any John Hughes movie, you know, those movies from the 80s, like Pretty in Pink, like Honey, you'll just be like the homophobia, the misogyny, the racism. You're just like, holy shit.
And it's like, Lord have mercy, we're watching this.
I think the part that always cracks me up about watching old shows and old movies like that is like, holy crap. We really just was out here being full bigots and laughing about it.
Full on. Full on. You're just like, so it's like, no, we don't need to devolve. But I do feel like now sometimes we try so hard to overcompensate that shows can fall flat because it's a little too political. Like you checked all these boxes and like everything feels very stiff. I think it's a balance. It's a fine balance.
I've seen people on like book Twitter talking about like whether or not a book is racist if it like is talking about like if like for instance, let's take Tom Sawyer. Okay, like if you're in the day and age of Tom Sawyer and one of the characters calls someone the N-word, well, I mean, is it really racist if he would really call him that?
I mean, it's just historical accuracy.
It's just historical. What he gonna say? Oh, my good friend. Yeah. Like, no.
I feel like those conversations are the ones that they have so they can avoid having real conversations about race.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, don't be intellectually idiotic. Like, we all know when a book is just displaying a racist character versus if the book is actually racist in itself. I feel like that's something we can all discern, especially if we're going to claim to be readers and somewhat intelligent. So it's just like when these types of discussions happen, I'm just like, what was the point of this?
You know, but also, to be clear, if you are out here writing books or writing movies or writing shows just so you can write and say the N-word, you are still a piece of shit too.
You're still a piece of shit.
Because there are some people, Quentin Tarantino, who make content just so that they can be racist and call it a masterpiece.
Ooh.
So I always got something to say about other movies too. That's what kills me. I'll be like,
also that I'm like, you made a movie where you said the N-word how many times? Shut up.
Wasn't he the one that was being salty about Marvel movies?
Yes. One of them, yeah.
He was being all like, oh, well, they only make Marvel movies now. And I just wanted to be like,
the people in Marvel movies be salty about Marvel movies because they'll do like press releases talking about some oh, well, it could have been anyone behind the armor. No, Chris Evans, it couldn't have.
He really be killing me with that. I'd be like, sir, sit your behind down. We're
That's
not
really
asking
funny.
for like stop, just stop. But
We
that's
want
all I'm
America's
asking.
ass, not you talking. Like, move away.
Yeah.
I was like, you have your purpose.
Like, Lord, because if it didn't matter that you play, it actually does matter, because you already tried with Fantastic Four, which was not that great.
Nope.
And you've done a million other things that were not that great. So it
Yep.
can't be that we don't like you.
Yeah, that's not it. But I'm just also like, y'all, with the Quentin Tarantino guy, I don't know if sorry, the fact that I just like trivialized him. But anyway, like I feel like directors who used to be hot shit 10, 15, 20 years ago are bitter now that like Hollywood's not knocking down their door to make movies. And I'm just like, you had your time.
It's not even that. It's just first of all, like, he's known for what exactly? He's known for Pulp Fiction and racist movies.
Kill Bill.
And Kill Bill. And like, he doesn't have any other creativity in his belt. That's not our fault.
Yeah. He was very one note. Sir,
Yeah.
you were a niche within a niche that was also within a niche.
Like, it's not our fault.
Honestly, the greatest thing that came from a Quentin Tarantino movie is that one interview that Jamie Foxx does, and they're talking about the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio like hits the glass, but apparently like he didn't do that originally. That was not in the script. When he was doing the scene, he hit it and he broke it, and he kept on going. And Jamie Foxx said the whole room was silent because they all were just like, "You just broke the glass."
Damn.
And Jamie Foxx was just like, he was already having trouble because every time he was supposed to say the N-word, he wouldn't say it, and like it wasn't good enough, and they'd be like, "Okay, listen, man, we get it."
Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx was just like, but all of a sudden it just a swip, nigga, and he was like, hold up.
Jamie Foxx is hilarious.
I love Jamie Foxx. So
he is
much.
like a national treasure.
He is.
I love
like,
him.
I'm dead.
But this also just reminds me that Leonardo DiCaprio turned out to be really weird, and that makes me sad.
Oh, yeah, his
generation of weird, because all of them actors around that time are weird.
Facts on facts on facts.
Johnny Depp, I love them. They're all weird.
Facts on facts on facts.
I mean, the fact that he's dating an 18-year-old.
I'm sorry. Who's dating an 18-year-old?
Leonardo DiCaprio. He's currently dating an 18-year-old.
And on that note, it's been an hour and 42 minutes.
Happy Valentine's!
At pedophilia,
I am not entertaining that foolishness. I refuse. No.
I'm just like, what do you talk to an 18-year-old about when you're about to be 50?
She's never even seen his movies.
Probably not.
Probably doesn't know he's an actor.
Oh, she knows who he is.
I'm a joke because she's so young.
The first movie she probably watched of him was Wolf on Wall Street.
Probably. You know what's so funny? I have a friend who doesn't watch any movies before 2008. So a lot of
what?
Deadass.
This is
Deadass.
Weird.
What?
Weird.
So random.
She's a Gen Zer, almost on the cusp, and she doesn't watch any movies before 2008. And so a lot of times she just doesn't like them. She thinks that they're old and bad quality.
I'm dead.
I feel so offended.
So sometimes when I talk about certain actors, she'll be like, who? Or certain movies. And I'm like, that's literally that 18-year-old with Leo. Like, she's like, probably hasn't seen any movies before 2008, when she was born. I'm just kidding. But
oh my God.
I'm dead.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
Oh, you guys want one more question to close it out?
Yeah, let's do one more question.
Valentine's Day. What is your ideal? Like, if you could have like one of those Galentine's Day like picnics or something, what would be your ideal Galentine's party?
Ooh.
I've
always wanted to have one of those dinners on the beach
Ooh.
Where like you have this like long table for all your friends and like a really nice beach, like Turks and Caicos type of beach. And it's decorated so nicely with like really aesthetic looking like dishware and like the napkins folded real aesthetic and like little posts with like candlelight or like little vases with like candles in them and like decor. Like a sunset dinner and like, with all my friends and like, oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Y'all are going to judge me.
No judgment zone.
We're about to go real nerdy here. This is something I've actually wanted to do at my house. I just haven't fully committed to the idea. So I actually want to do a cottagecore fairy tea party.
Yes.
Like,
please.
Like I want my backyard to be fully tinted.
Oh my God.
I want everything to be like pillows everywhere. And I want I want the table to basically be a floating table. So they'll need like the wires to like hang it from the tent.
Oh my God.
And but I only want it to be a girl event because I want it to be full cottagecore. Like you can go fairy, but it still has to have a cottagecore element to it. Not only that, the only thing I'm willing to do other than cottagecore is like Elizabethan style clothing type tea party. This is the only thing I'm willing to do.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Equipped with a photographer to take photos of all of our magic. Yeah.
Yes.
So cute. I love that.
Yeah.
I think for me, I do one of two things. One that I think it's always cute is like the little like Disney outings that people will do. Like they'll go to Disney.
Yes.
Disneyland as like a girl group.
Yes.
Would love to do that. We keep on saying that one day we're gonna do that.
You know, we should totally.
To be fair, we planned that for 2020, but COVID said no.
We need to have a Black Pros Club meetup at Disney.
We do.
Oh my gosh.
How lit would that be?
That'd be so much fun. I do like the picnics and I like the whole like buying the little lunchbox cake.
Yeah.
Having a little tea party.
Yes.
I all immediately went to tea parties and shit. We are so
bougie.
We are girls. It's okay.
I love it.
We love tea parties.
We literally all said, "Ooh, tea parties and dinners."
We're healing our inner child.
We are in our extreme feminine energy right now.
I love it. That would be mine. But the Disney one, close second. Only because one of us needs a sugar daddy so that we can go ahead and just like fly us all there.
That would be amazing.
At that point.
Hopefully in a PJ private jet.
Ooh,
we have to do that on the download though, because that's not politically correct.
What's not correct?
Just don't take pictures of yourself.
About doing private jets.
Just don't take pictures of yourself and put it all over Instagram.
Yeah.
Listen, if I'm at a place where I'm able to do private jet things, I will not be giving a fuck about what anybody says on the internet.
No,
my money will be gone by then.
Right? Vina said hotel tea party. I love that.
Yes,
that's so cute.
We're all on this tea party tip. I love
it. Novelist said, said we just need to have a Black Pros group trip. True that.
We do need to start working on these things, which I know we hella antisocial. So the idea of hosting something like that sounds terrible.
Novelist says, I would love to go to one of those adult-sized gaming playhouse activities, like the adult version of Lava Floor. Yeah.
I have to be high, but I totally do it.
I do it.
I do it too. That sounds like a good time.
Ooh, another one that would be really cool. Well, if you're a gamer, it would be really cool. I don't know if anybody else is gonna like this. But like a virtual reality, like a whole virtual reality scenario would be dope.
Virtual reality literally gives me anxiety and panic attacks.
I don't know.
All right. Well, this was
I always feel like I'm gonna die and get stuck in the game. So maybe not for me.
All right. Well, Oshle, we were totally gonna go do a VR thing when you came to visit, but I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that. no idea. I had no idea that this was your reaction to virtual reality.
Oh, I love that.
It scares the shit out of me because I like really believe that it's real.
I mean, yeah, once you put the helmet on, you do have to remind yourself that this shit's not real.
And
But
then I
also,
just spend my entire time terrified for my life.
oh my God. I'm so
Well-
glad I learned of this now. But that is
I could never be in Ready Player One. Like, never.
oh my
Not for you.
gosh.
Mm-mm.
I had no idea this was your response to virtual reality. Like, that is so funny.
Could you imagine if we did it and there was like a Hunger Games virtual reality?
It would have just been Oshale on like the camera replay would just be her screaming.
It would. I would be done for. I
Oh
can't.
my
Screaming
God,
the
I
whole
love this.
time. In the background, you'd see me and Troy shooting stuff, and she would just be screaming, turning around in a circle.
No, literally, one of my good friends had one of those headset things and was playing this game where it was like I was supposed to be walking like a tightrope or I was going to fall to my death. When I tell you, I had a full-on mental breakdown. She like yanked it off of me. She was like, Oshale, it's not real. It's okay. You're not falling. And I was like, oh my God. I can't do it.
Oh
Yo,
my God.
good to
Not for
know.
me.
I mean, I'm glad that I know now, but that is
Okay, what about go-karting? That's
I like go-karting.
okay.
It's
I mean,
real life.
you don't have to wear a helmet for that. I guess that's the difference.
Like everybody kept talking about the metaverse, and I was like,
I was like, it's like fuck the metaverse.
I'm staying in Earth, the real world.
Staying in Earth.
Not for me. It's too scary.
All of a sudden, Oshale not reading much fantasy or sci-fi fiction lessons.
I know. I'm like, I don't know if I'm not gonna question that anymore. This makes so much sense now. Oh my God. Because the way that I use it to pretend like this would be a great, I literally read books and be like, this would be an amazing virtual reality thing.
Dakota has one of the helmets at home.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay,
Oshale said
well,
definitely not.
any announcements today?
No.
Hope y'all have a good Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yeah, remember,
If you
if your
celebrate.
guy or girl or person wants to take you out on the 15th, you are the side piece. Have a good day.
On that note,
This message was brought to you by Black Pros Club.
All right, guys. It's been great talking to y'all. We're going to go now. Y'all have a really good day.
bye.
Bye.